week's edition of Picks, Parlays, and Pints. I'm Bob Goff. Tom Frese is my guest today.
Thanks
Welcome.
for having me, Bob. Thanks.
Yeah.
You don't have to just walk through my store anymore. We get to go somewhere social.
This is great. Have a pint. Like we've never had drinks anywhere else before, but that's okay.
Ever.
Let's talk to late. Shane Hulsey is on assignment. Busy time for high school sports, and right now we don't talk a lot of high school sports here. That's we don't do that, but
that's a shuck thing. That's a shuck
and a doer. Shuck and doer. Yeah. So, but of course, if you have a problem, 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF, of course. But we don't have a problem.
Ever. Limits.
We know our limits. We know our limitations.
Yeah. What is your limit?
I'm a nickel dimer. 5.10. If I really feel good about it, I'll go 10. Or I'll go $9.50 thanks to the government's tax.
Yeah. I'm a $5 guy. I figure if I can bet as much as my wife spends on matcha at Starbucks every day, I'm safe. I'm safe on my bets. I'm safe with $5.
Well, but you also do a lot of NBA, right?
I am a big player parlay guy. I like doing player parlays. So NBA right now is back, and getting these rookies, man, figuring the rookies out, seeing what they're doing. A lot of these guys can help you win some money on where people aren't checking that out yet. So I do pretty good on the NBA. Betting team wise, you don't know though. After Jordan's interview the other day with the whole, load management, all that stuff. You got to stay on top of the NBA stuff. So it's usually one of those things you're not making those bets until evening, so you can find out who's actually playing. But I'm a big rebounds, points, assists guy. They're having a bad shooting night. That's your way to they'll make up for on the other end, and it's usually pretty good. So yeah, that's. I'm glad NBA's back. I do pretty well on that one.
The NFL thing, that the first of the year you got a lot better odds, but obviously as Vegas and the books always do, they catch up. It was field goals.
Field goals, yeah.
So many field goals.
These guys are kicking like crazy. Yeah. I mean, you remember back in the day, a guy hit a 45-yarder.
Big deal.
That was big. Now 60-yarders are nothing.
Nothing.
And do you sit there and just cuss the TV every weekend when they go for it on fourth down and they've got something within a 50-yarder?
Yeah.
You're just killing your field goal picks. You're killing your fantasy team.
Yeah.
It's like the 4th and 2, Dan Campbell has killed everything because not everybody wants to be Dan Campbell.
Yeah, and I've got the Bates, their kicker, on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, come on, I need this field goal.
Had a guy pick him in the 4th round this year in fantasy. Oops.
Ooh.
Thinking they're going to score a lot of points. Yeah.
The only kicker I would pick that high is Aubrey.
Yeah.
Because but the Cowboys' offense is so good this year, his value is even a little bit diminished. But still, he's hit like 5 60-yarders already.
Yeah, most in a season.
Nuts.
So yeah, that's about our only positive that we can be as Cowboys fans this year is our kicker.
The offense, Dak's had a good year, except Dak had a bad week last week.
Laid an egg. Had him my fantasy starting quarterback.
Killed my fantasy team too.
Yeah, I was a loser this week.
Killed my fantasy team. Killed the parlay I had that had him throwing touchdowns. Yeah. So
it's been an interesting fantasy year. A lot of
it has been.
Tell you what, just a lot of these teams where you're seeing everybody kind of come together. The records are all about the same. So you've got to. Gosh, if you didn't get the guy, you didn't get you a Josh Allen, or you didn't get you. Well, I mean, Lamar's killed people. He's hurt. You're not getting anybody there.
Burrow.
Yeah. Rather than you got these guys now that are. It's a dime a dozen. You're going to get Jonathan Taylor's the man. You got him. You're all right.
I went for this year. I decided to go ahead and say I think Christian McCaffrey will be healthy, and he's been healthy and he's been good, except for last week when everybody on my team sucked.
Yeah.
But McCaffrey's been good, worth the money, and been healthy. So hopefully that keeps going.
He lost me a parlay last week. Needed him for over 45.5 receiving yards, and he'd done it every week and got me 43. So where do they come up with the half yard? Have you figured that one out yet?
Just to break the tie, so you don't have to push. Because, there's been like 3 games this year where I've had somebody -3 and that's hit, and I've had to push. So I've had 3 pushes this year. Yeah. Trust me, I'd rather push than lose, but still.
I always love how you're going to get the throw the half touchdown.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's always a good half touchdown. That's the goblin bet. Goblin bet on draft picks. That's your goblin bet. Or if it's on Tuesdays, it's your taco bet.
The Tuesday
taco bet. Get those lowered. Those are always the good ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's so NBA wise, you don't bet the game so much. You bet the stats.
I bet the stats. I'm going with the players. I like the player parlays. You can shut it off at about a 4-player. I like going with the 6 players. I don't do DraftKings in that. I do the price picks, and on there that gives you a flex option and gives you an option to go straight with the 6 picks. So, depending on where you're at, what the games are, how comfortable you feel with it, I really hit those. And that, like I said, that points, rebounds, assists thing, kind of covers you if a guy's having a bad night. When you go with Steph Curry and all of a sudden he goes cold from 3, he's not hitting you for 26. He's going to probably hit 15 or 16 points. So those other stats kind of help you, but you never pick scores in that. Straight scores, Ja Morant, never pick him in those because that's all he does. He's a scorer. But Giannis right now, he's God. Like, he's hitting over 49.5 on points, rebounds, assists. Luka hitting over 49.5.
And Giannis doesn't have to dribble.
Yeah, I mean,
watch that clip.
5 steps. That's not even a Euro step. That's like the entire world step. I saw that, and those guys. Reggie Miller was great. I could still be playing if I had that. That was great. But yeah, there's you gotta. A lot of times you want to sit there and see somebody that's got a lower point thing to do, and it's like Dennis Schroeder. I mean, I'm going to pull these things out because I just had me on Dennis Schroeder for the Kings. He's got that, but you never know if he's going to share time with Russell Westbrook. So if Russ is hot and they don't keep Dennis in, so you got to kind of watch. You got to get the guys that are not going to split a lot of time. So it's got to be guys that are on the court. They're stat sheet fillers. So the big thing is just filing through there, seeing who's consistently getting up there, over 6 rebounds, over 6 assists, and get your points. And then you're going to usually have a pretty good hit. But just trying to go with guys scoring, man, that's a tough one. You got to have somebody that you're going to take your top guys, and that's it, because they're hitting your points. But these other guys, I was like, let's see what Cooper Flagg does the first couple of games. 10 points. You're thinking he's going to come out. He's going to come out, probably score 18, get you 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He was playing point guard. Yeah, he's not playing point guard anymore. He's done. He's doing his thing.
That experiment's over.
Yeah, that's over. So you got Russell. He's coming. I'm done on him from the Laker days. That guy's so inconsistent. The only time he was ever a stat filler is when he was with Brooklyn. Yeah. And then whenever he leaves Brooklyn, he's got good juju in Brooklyn or something there. But,
Must be.
Yeah, but that's, if you're going to do the stats, that's where I do it. And again, because you're doing the money line or doing stuff on games, it's tough because, again, the load management, you never know who's in, who's out. There's so many guys who've already gotten hurt already. So it's kind of like, this just gives you the option, and it keeps you invested. It's fun to watch. I mean, you're sitting there, you can flip around on games, see what your guys are instead of just camping on a game. So that's where I'm at. But I think it's pretty fun. I mean, it's the same thing. You can do it with the NFL on there too. And those are great because you can sit there. I like to break it down in the first half of Sundays, the second half of Sundays, do one on a Sunday night game, then do a Monday night game. So, it looks like you're kind of chasing, but again, my wife drinks lots of matcha. So I can make lots of $5 bets here and there. So.
Well, we don't have any games this week in Europe. So the NFL's taking a break from that. Got that coming back up here in a week or so, though. You don't do a lot of college, though.
Don't do a lot of college. I don't. Fun to watch. Yeah. Fun to watch. I like to do it. If I get up to, like going to Riverside or going to Burlington and stuff, you're up there for a weekend, I'll do a little bit on stuff. I don't, I'm just going to sit there and try to do the winners. I don't follow it enough to do it. Right. But for today, I did go through and do a little research, check some stuff out, brought things in where standings are, who's playing who. So, I don't want to come here and look like some schlep when I show up today. No, that's good. Let's just, we like to just kind of go through the top 10 and the locals. Even though you can't bet Illinois here, if you want to go to Iowa, you can bet Illinois. And then starting December 1st, you'll be able to go to Missouri and bet on Illinois. Yeah, you see, I always see a lot of people just parking right across the bridge. Yeah. That's interesting. It is. Yeah, my brother-in-law is one of those. Didn't say anything about it. He works over there, too. I thought he was that way, but no, apparently it's the betting station. But then also, like I said, in Missouri, the guys, a lot of guys in Hannibal will go over to across there, and they'll bet there, too. So Maximilian or whatever. Yeah, it'll be nice one. It'll be nice one to be legal everywhere. I know I know my son-in-law is down in the St. Louis area, and I know his buddies are just chomping at the bit to be able to not have to drive to Alton to his house to make his bets and then come back. So that'll be a good deal. They can also drive to Alton to the Casino Queen to make their bets, too. Cheaper beer at my son-in-law's house. I'm sure. All right, so let's look. Ohio State's got UCLA this week, right? Yeah, the big quarterback steal from Tennessee, that worked out real well for them, getting all the money for that guy. Not so much. No. Ohio State's on a roll, man. I mean, that's like having pretty much a pro team. Those guys are going to throw until somebody steps up. I don't even know if Indiana can do it with them. I mean, I know that they're the kind of Cinderella. Here they are, come back 2 years later after the last run. But, man, Ohio State's they're stacked. They're stacked. I don't know how you go against them. I mean, they're scoring. I think you can take the points over them this week. I think you can take the money line on them this week. I think you can take anything on Ohio State. I think UCLA has a chance. What about you?
Ohio State to cover. Ohio State's been a really solid bet lately, so definitely Buckeyes all the way. You mentioned the Hoosiers earlier. Again, they are on a roll, and they're playing like a team with something to prove.
Yeah, it's fun to watch these teams where it's such a different atmosphere now with the NIL money. These guys bringing players in, and even what they've done there, not bringing in a lot of
Indiana has UCLA, right?
Yeah.
And then because Ohio State is Penn State.
Ohio State's got Penn State.
So that's a cover.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah, they're both covers.
They're both covered. Doesn't matter if they change their coach or not. Franklin's gone. They're going. But that's the same thing you heard there, though. Like bringing in all these NIL guys, all you're doing is trying to spend the money to get the players, and I think the whole team building thing's gone. They said that was the big thing at Penn State was like when their quarterback went down.
Yeah,
nobody was standing around him. Nobody was there to help. The guy was out there on the island by himself. So it's just kind of a sad deal. I mean, you're kind of seeing these teams that it fails with, but you see somebody like Indiana who's doing it right, who's not bringing in the 5-star guys, to bring in those 4-star guys, making a team. And these guys are going out and playing that way. They're fun to watch. They really are. They're fun to watch for somebody who hasn't really been there for a long, long time. I mean, let's be honest, Indiana's a basketball school.
Yeah.
It's not a football school. Now you just went and tied the coach up for 8 years. He can build it, which 8 years means he'll be there next year and be gone.
Yeah, those things mean nothing. I mean, with the buyouts especially, you talk about coaches moving on. Texas A&M comes up. They've got to play LSU. LSU just cut ties with Brian Kelly. He's going to walk away with like $50 million or something.
$53 million?
That's not bad.
That's a good payday.
I could do that. That'd be easy.
Take like $53 and have a fun weekend, let alone $53 million.
But I think A&M's another team that looks good. I don't think they're going to have any issues there at all.
No, you've got some a lot of these games looking at it, this is a problem, just the big surprise team. But you've kind of seen it coming for a couple of years is Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt was starting to get those big wins against SEC teams. Then now here they are, unfortunately beating your Mizzou Tigers last week.
Yeah.
Didn't blow them out, but they're making the way up. And again, you're seeing these teams get built the right way, and that you just see the fluctuation in this from the top 25. It's like, Texas. Yeah. Texas dropping. Arch is out. Was Arch really the big deal? That's you're seeing all that happen now. So where are they going to be at this week? How are they going to look with the different quarterback playing? You just like I said, there's.
Well, actually, I was looking at last week's stuff. So Texas A&M's already beaten LSU. So, but Ohio State does have Penn State, that's for sure. And then we've got I know Mizzou's off this week, but I look at this, and again, I think college, Georgia Tech's kind of got a renaissance. Vanderbilt's had their renaissance. It's so much balance, like you said. The NIL has really made stuff.
Yeah, you don't have these guys going to teams where it's just, when you were going to Nick Saban and you're going to these named coaches, you were going there because they constantly won. Now. Yeah, everybody's kind of got a chance. It's level the playing field. I mean, it's more like I hate saying it. At some point, they're going to probably have to cap it. Something's going to have to happen there. You're going to end up being in a position, like the Major League Baseball, where you got the top markets doing that. But these boosters come up with money, man. They're throwing money out like crazy.
Then the argument's going to come up. Well, if you're going to cap the players, you got to cap the coaches, because that's been the argument all along. Is the coaches are getting all this money, and a coach could leave, and a player was screwed because his coach left. Well, now the players can leave whenever they want.
Yeah, you got the portal. It all makes a big difference now. There's, like you said, these teams that are building teams are great because they're the ones that are fun to watch. These other ones, they could have somebody gone the next year. It's hard to make ties with the teams and hold it anymore because you just don't know who's going to be there. Like, you could have a great season at Mizzou, all of a sudden, I got a better offer somewhere else, I'm going to leave. Well, you just crap on
lots
the team
of chatter
and all your fans
and leaving.
Yeah, so it's a different thing, man. So that's where like now it's really fun to kind of watch these, but because you don't know what you're going to see the next year. It can be a completely different type of team. So.
Well, and I think, though, Drinkwitz, he's got it. The expectations at Missouri, let's face it, they're not what they are at an LSU or a Florida. So he's going to go, because you look at all these other guys, that Florida's brought in the next big thing like the last 3 times, and they've all gotten drummed out. LSU, Saban won a national championship. And then Les Miles won a national championship. Saban won a national championship. And then Coach O won a national championship, Orgeron. So Kelly comes in. He's not going to win a championship. I think when Notre Dame lost him, I think they were relieved because I think this is a guy who wears out his welcome rather quickly.
Yeah, he thinks a lot of himself.
And I think he just needs to take his $53 million and go spend it on himself.
Sunset, yeah, and Missouri's coach is on that. You just saw the other day the short list for the LSU job,
and the Florida job, and the Penn State. Yeah, it's all of them. So.
Yeah, it's a revolving. Like you said, and that's where it comes back to players. These coaches, it's a revolving door. No matter what their dollar amount, no matter what their years are, they've all got the buyout. They can all go somewhere. So it just changes the landscape. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough trying to be a fan of teams. I know I used to be a big FSU fan back in the late 80s, 90s. You knew your coach was going to be there. Nobody was leaving. Guys were coming in. You could watch guys. You always had Notre Dame fans. You always had Miami fans. Like you just always had those around. And now, unless you went there, like I said, like if it's your alma mater, it's a different thing. You just don't see a lot of that transforming where people are like, I'm following that team because it's tough anymore.
I think the Bama fans are that way. I think there's still a handful of schools who are that way, but a lot of the other ones are really kind of go by the wayside. And again, Miami has had a lot of lean years before their latest renaissance too. So let's flip to the NFL real quick. We were talking about how do you do your player prop bets like you do in basketball? You do a lot of those things?
I do a lot of player prop bets. Unlike my wife who picks games by the uniforms that she likes, she does well.
A lot of people do that with brackets too.
Yeah, fantasy football. She picks if she's not sure about a player, she'll be like, I like the Seahawks logo, so she'll pick a Seahawk. But the player parlays are fun to do. My advice on doing them, and it takes a while because you're there on your phone and it's showing you everything, and they're trying to tell you this is the great way to go or this is the great way to go. Those things slide, those stats slide. So a lot of times you might slide down a couple stats, but you know what? You're more likely to get that for the same money than you are trying to stay here. So you gotta read up on it. You gotta watch it. Big thing that I always watch, especially when it comes to the NFL. And that's just even betting on games too. Is weather.
Yeah.
Overseas, I think the only big stat person overseas this year was Stafford. Had the 5 TD game and Adams that game. Other than that, they're generally, let's be honest, they're kind of turds.
Yeah,
they're not great. It's like Thursday night football. There's rarely a good Thursday night football game.
And we've got, I think, except for the return of Lamar Jackson on Thursday night football. It's Baltimore, Miami.
Yeah, and you're good to see this back. It was good to see. I watched that Baltimore game the other day, and you can really see how much they are tied to a mobile quarterback. Our guy Cooper Rush is not. He's a statue back there. And they were doing nothing. You bring in Snoop Huntley. Snoop had him a day.
He did.
But that's what the Baltimore offense is, and I think you're going to see that going into against Miami. Lamar's back, but guess what? If he's hurt, now they've still got Huntley there. They're gonna take that game. I can't see Miami.
And it looks like also that having that mobile quarterback opens up Derrick Henry.
Oh,
and Derrick Henry came back and after some lean weeks. So
everybody looked, and they got some defensive pieces back. That's the other thing too. They got some of their defense back. I think the one game where I watched a few weeks ago, they had like 6 defensive starters out.
Yeah,
that's hard to overcome, and no matter where you're playing, Pop Warner in the NFL, you're not going to overcome having that many. But they're coming. The pieces are coming back, and that division's still winnable.
Oh, sure.
So they have nothing to sit there and say we can't come back. Pittsburgh lost last week. Cincinnati blew that game against the Jets. The Browns. They throw Garrett's 5-sack game out the window. So hey, they won. So they've actually got the momentum. So they're coming against Miami, who McDaniel, he had a must-win game. I think he had to win that to save his job.
Yeah.
Can they come back again against this one? I kind of doubt it. I know they're at home, but that doesn't really ever seem to matter. So
the team that Baltimore beat last week, the Bears now going to Cincinnati.
Yeah. Can Cincinnati stop anybody? Yeah. That's where you're at. It's like who's gonna score the last point? That's where it's at. And now that they've got Flacco's going to give them a chance to win, but at some point in time, you've got to stop somebody. But it's also the Bears. Have we seen the Bears throw up that many points? Since Flacco's been there, it's over 30 points a game.
Yeah.
I know their defense is bad, but
Bears been hitting.
We've kind of watched. Yeah, we've kind of watched. At least you watch the Bears and everything. It's like I don't know. They're so inconsistent. You never know. Is it going to be a swift game? Are they going to air it out? It's never a semblance. You don't know who they are yet. And I know with Ben Johnson being a new coach and stuff and trying to get everything in place, but this is a game that they can easily lose. And I think if they lose this game, they're looking at. This will start their spiral like the Redskins game did last year.
Yeah.
They had that game won. They talk smack in the end zone. They lose. I think if they lose the Cincinnati game this week, you still got most of the same players.
I still like the over in the game.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to hit I think they're going to hit that one. But I think this is not a sure win for Chicago at all.
The Fighting Tyler Tomlinsons are in Detroit.
They're done. Next game. Sorry, Tyler. Sorry.
Yeah,
JJ's back. Who cares? I'm glad I picked Justin Jefferson in fantasy football because that's got me 1 touchdown in week 1. Don't see JJ McCarthy coming back and helping that at all. So that game, talk about, you had the quarterback whisper. I mean, hopefully we see a little bit more on McCarthy because I think everybody's expecting it, but
it's been rough, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let's hope Laporta. I need me some Laporta potty.
The Packers hosting the Panthers, and the Packers, boy, they sure look good against the Steelers.
They look good. They do. I tell you what, it's nice. It's nice watching them with a balanced offense. When they try to go out there and they run Jacobs the first quarter and they try to lay that out, and all of a sudden then Jordan Love's on the ball over the field and they get away from I think who they really are as a more balanced offense. They also have the problem with them is you see them, they play down to their competition sometimes. And Carolina's not awful. Let's be honest. I mean, they beat Dallas. I mean, that's a huge win.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But, this could be one of those games where, they play down, but you would think this one's got to be a Packers win. I think it's got to be, and definitely I think that the over is going to happen in this one.
I think so.
So, but yeah, it'd be a good game. They're fun to watch.
I mean, if Bryce Young's back, I think Carolina has a fighting chance, but Carolina's also played really well at home and been kind of meh on the road.
Yeah.
And this game is at Lambeau Field.
Yeah. So and I think that getting Watson back, even though you didn't think that was a big addition for them last week, I'd tell you what, his yards down the field, it was evident. I mean, last year I think he was ranked in the top 12, and now here he comes back and he's putting him up.
When they had both him and Jaden Reed out, that took their deep. Those are their 2 primary deep threats.
Yeah,
having at least Watson back certainly helps a lot. Colts Steelers. This is a big one all of a sudden. The Colts.
Indiana Jones.
Wow. Dun, 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 dun.
Gotta love him. I mean,
let's face it. He's also handing off to a guy who's killing everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
and that makes your quarterbacking a lot easier when you can hand it off to
machine. He's got Ty Warren, where he can hit those. Yeah. That he's turning small passes into big gains. Pittman's finally, I think, starting to show that he can be a consistent receiver. And Alec Pierce, I mean, that guy's averaging like over 20 yards a catch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy's not scoring, but he's getting it. So they're able to open that offense out. And, I guess just Dable just couldn't figure that out with Jones to do that. And now it's like they were trying to make him Josh Allen.
Right.
He's not Josh Allen because if you go look at his rushing stats, he's not doing that with the Colts.
No.
He's throwing the ball.
And it's not, when he was with the Giants when he first got there, he had a pretty good running back too.
Yeah.
So.
And when they got rid of that just kind of, I think, flushed everything down the toilet that they had. And now watching him and watching Taylor just run over everybody, he gives them enough of a passing quarterback that they've got to respect everything now. But, the Steelers, I don't know, man. Watt gets on fire, gets in Jones's head a little bit, could rattle him. But you would think this would be something the Colts will probably handle.
I would think so, too. The big game of the week is Bills-Chiefs.
Fun game. That's always a battle.
I think the over's a no-brainer in this.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, I always joke and say the Chiefs never cover, but the Chiefs been covering lately.
They have been. I tell you what, now that you see them with all their pieces, all the pieces back now, but Pacheco got hurt. I don't know if he's in play, but Kareem Hunt's been picking up the slack for years, and he's fun to watch. I like him to go out there. I mean, Pacheco's got that thunder to him, but I mean, so does Hunt. Hunt's going to lay it to him. So you like to see it, but if the Bills can come out and they can control the game and use Cook like they did last week, I mean, I don't know that he's going to run for 200 yards with that defense. Chiefs defense is good, but if they can kind of balance it out, I think it makes it a closer game. But right now, I'm looking Chiefs. I think Chiefs have got the parts, and when Josh Allen has to throw the ball, if they take away Kincaid. There's just not that star receiver there. I mean, I know Shakir had kind of a game last week, but if they can kind of bottle that up and kind of get in the box and make him throw deep, I'm not sure he can do it.
We will wrap things up with our Cowboys, an old NFC East battle, Cowboys-Cardinals.
How many of these are we drinking on Sundays now at the Cowboys?
Well, now it's on Monday night, so we'll be drinking on Monday night to get through this one. And again, they lost to the Bears, they lost to the Panthers. You beat the the Commanders.
Yeah,
you tied the Packers. It's just you just don't know which team's going to show up, and then they just got throttled by Denver. But I think Denver's pretty good.
Denver's a very good team. I mean, Bo Nix showed that Bo Nix is a good quarterback. I mean, I think that whole thing they've got that. They brought Harvey in. When the Dallas defense has to play a speed back, somebody that can get to the corners, they cannot contain that far out. So, and our quarterbacks can't tackle. The good thing about playing the Cardinals is they're down to like their fourth back. Yeah. Bam Knight if Bam Knight beats the Cowboys, The defensive coordinator needs to go.
I don't think he'll have the Rico Dowdle revenge game.
Let's hope not. But, Dallas should handle this game. It always seems like Budda Baker has a game against the Cowboys when they play. He makes turnovers happen.
Kyler Murray's back.
Yeah.
And who knows if Kyler Murray's going to show up.
On paper, Dallas should take this game, take the over.
Yes.
But, man, this is our season. This is where you just don't know. You just don't know.
8-1. That's where we're going to finish this year.
It will be.
That's getting the tie made it great. Because 8-1.
Yeah,
I think that's where they're going to finish.
Now everybody's talking about our draft picks and we have these things. So you know what that's going to get us? About a 12 to 15 pick, and then our other pick we're going to have how Green Bay is. It's going to be lower. It's going to be like a high second round pick.
If you package them up and move up, that's great. Yeah. If you can go get a stud, that's always fun.
And all this chatter about using those picks and go get back to Crosby. Max Crosby doesn't want to come there. Listen, nobody. Tell me the last person who's wanted to come to Dallas.
Been a while.
A long time.
Dion?
Long time. And I think until, Jerry just hangs up his hat and they just actually get a real GM to come in there and show that it's not that, it's going to stay that way. That's the sad part. But let's hope they come through on Monday night. So on Tuesday when we convene at Tri-City Sports for our morning chat, we're not
stomping like we were last Monday when I lost. I think I went 2-8 in bets. Fantasy was a bad week. It was Cowboys, Tigers, Blues. Blues are playing terrible. Blues can't stop anybody.
They've got the Bengals defense. They got the Cowboys secondary.
I'm gonna have to start betting the Blues to lose every game now.
It's tough. And you saw how they reconstructed that team in the offseason. You're like, man, these guys. Yeah. I mean, they made great things, but it's just. You're not seeing it, which is it's totally different than the preseason. Preseason looked great. Right now, I don't know who they are.
No, I mean, you lost 2 games to Detroit, and Detroit's not good.
It's tough. So we're going to hope that they turn that around. We're going to hope our Cowboys come through on Monday night. You get a Saturday off from having to go do Mizzou football, but you can kind of sit back and watch everybody else and see where you're going to go in the SEC.
It'll be a relaxing Saturday.
It's good. It'll be a good day. Well, thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for being here.
Glad to fill in. So,
all right.
We'll enjoy the rest of these beers.
We will
talk about how Dallas is going to win, right?
Sure. All right, that's all the time we have for Picks, Parlays, and Pints, brought to you by Utopia Event Center and Heck Gaming. I'm Bob Goff. See you next week.
Utopia is now open every day from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. and till 1 a.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Chill out with a craft cocktail or an ice-cold beer, and Utopia's got the latest gaming machines with big jackpots ready for you to win. Need the perfect spot for your next celebration? Utopia features a beautiful event venue, available now for parties, reunions, and private events. So come see what all the buzz is about. The drinks are cold, the space is hot, and Utopia is ready for you.